Welcome to the FNO InsureTech Podcast, a place where movers and shakers from all points within the insurance ecosystem gather and discuss all things InsureTech. Here are your hosts, Lee Boyd and Rob Beller.
Hey, podcast world, that's right. You're here for another wonderful edition of FNO InsureTech. Today is one of those episodes where only one of Lee and I's melodic voices will be on the recording.
That's right.
Isn't that right? And that's my friend and cohort who sometimes comes to episodes, Lee Boyd.
I'm here mostly. I'm almost always here. Even though I look at my calendar, I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to make those future podcasts, but I'm almost always here.
So you're living in your new world now. You're now president of claim operations.
Yeah.
You a little busier these days? A little busier?
A lot bit busier, a lot more meetings, but a lot of exciting things going on. A lot of great people working in this organization, and there's a lot of exciting things. So I would say though, it's a little busier, a little bit busier.
Well, can you share one exciting thing?
I'd say one exciting thing is the amount of AI initiative meetings that I'm in, talking about how AI is going to change everything, right? How can it? Is it possible? Will it do it? And then meeting with the companies who say that they are. So I think a lot of the AI initiative is a really exciting thing.
So I'm going to ask you straight up, Lee Boyd, can it? Will it?
It can, and it will. And we will, at our company, we'll be implementing some very exciting things in the near future. Some will be visible, some will be behind the scenes. But if there's anything you've learned from our past guests on the podcast, AI, it's here.
And that kind of leads us right into today. Today we have Kyle Geoghan.
Yeah.
From the CEO and co-founder of Indemn AI. And that's kind of the topic was, can it, will it? And it can and it will. And it does. I mean, it's here, folks. We're past the will it, how will it, whatever.
Yeah. I always think part of the issue is understanding, like, what's the problem? Like, a lot of people want AI to come in and use it, but really you're trying to think, what's the value? What am I trying to solve here? How can it sit on top of what we have and really deliver value? That's one of the things you got to ask.
Kyle's company is working in a number of different areas in the value chain, underwriting and otherwise. Even FNOL. And so it was a fascinating conversation from a young man who is not only a technologist, but has a tremendous insurance background. He comes from, like you, he comes from an insurance family. His dad was an independent or is an independent agent, and he grew up in that. And it makes a difference, doesn't it?
I think it builds a nice little foundation to grow upon.
It makes you understand, what is this insurance thing anyways?
This crazy world of insurance.
I love that. This always takes me back to 10, 15 years ago. Insurance was like the most boring thing in the world.
It's kind of cool right now.
It's kind of cool. We need to ride this wave as long as we can.
You know what? I do think it's interesting, though. We are coming full circle where insurance was all insurance people. And then you had technology people who didn't know insurance, and they were going to come in and tell us how to do it better. And now you have technology people who are insurance people who are taking us to the next level. Yeah. But I think it's kind of been proved out, and I could be wrong, but I think it's been proved out that you need the insurance foundation to understand so that you can be a great technology partner.
The world of finance is complicated, and certainly one of the related things, insurance, is a very complicated, complex world that's multidisciplinary, and it's not just give me your premium, and if you have a claim, I'll pay you. That's the forward-facing part of it. But what goes on behind the scenes to make that happen is a lot of work. And Kyle and his company not only gets it, but they do it every day. So will you listen to the episode? Will you?
Can't wait. I cannot wait. When the sucker releases, Israel's going to let us know, and I'm going to listen right then.
Well, then, and I hope you all feel the same. So without further ado, let's get to our episode with Kyle Geoghan, co-founder and CEO at Indemn AI. Hey, everybody. We are here with our guests today on a beautiful summer day. We have Kyle Geoghan with us, the CEO and co-founder of Indemn AI. Did I say that right? Indemn? The M is silent?
You got both my name and the company name, and they're both a challenge.
Woo!
Kudos.
We don't have Lee with us today, so Lee butchers people's names far worse than I do. So you're kind of lucky, because that would have taken much longer had Lee been here. Tell us where you are today, Kyle.
I'm in South Boston.
South Boston,
Yep.
But from New York.
I am. Yeah, I was born in New York City. I grew up in the suburbs of Long Island, a town known for beers and oysters called Blue Point.
Are you an oyster guy?
I am. I'm more of a clam guy. And, the Blue Point oyster, it used to cover the Great South Bay where I grew up 100 years ago. But nowadays it's all clams, no oysters left.
Did the clams push the oysters out? Is that what happened?
Yeah, they say one of those storms opened up the bay and changed the salinity.
And how are the clams?
The clams are excellent. And everyone I bring out there, there's some secret places where you can dive down, hold your breath, and scoop up 5 or more in one. And that's exciting to show somebody.
And then what do you do with a clam once you caught it?
Well, I'll open it right up while I'm there. I'll put it on a grill. I'll beer steam it. I'll open them, chop them, and make baked clams, eat clams all kinds of ways.
Oh, damn. Well, the shameless part of F&O InsureTech is we accept all kinds of bribes and gratuities. So,
well, before I started this business, it was either invest in starting it or buy a sailboat and start to cross oceans. And so,
dude, why didn't you? Are those mutually exclusive? I think so, huh?
Yeah, they are. And the sailboat will be bigger, once I'm finished in that.
Are you a sailor as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. As a matter of fact, this weekend, I'm going to Rhode Island.
Awesome.
And I'm really excited about that, which is kind of a neighboring area to you.
Anywhere up here on the East Coast is a great place to be in the summer.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, although it's going to be like smoking hot this weekend.
Well, then you better jump in the sea.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I am. I like to. Anytime I go to where I'm near an ocean that's foreign or different, I love to go in it. It's so I can say to myself that I did that. Anyways, we're not here today to talk about swimming in oceans, although you're swimming in an ocean of commerce and technology today, aren't you?
I am. And the schools of fish talking about AI have really multiplied in recent years.
Yes. And I was saying to you how it's, before we got on the air today, how it's interesting how our guests on our podcasts have kind of become more commonly from AI companies.
Yep.
And what do you have to say about that? What's your thought on that?
Well, I think that it's a clear technology paradigm shift for the whole world and every industry, and particularly insurance is well suited to really transform itself with this generative AI technology.
Now, I want to ask you about your particular journey, but first let's set the table with the company and what we're talking about. So take as much time as you'd like to tell us about Indemn AI and what you do, what your product is.
Sure. So we are an AI agents, basically a third-party communications company. So we enable insurance agents, MGAs, insurance carriers to communicate with their customers or their brokers via AI agents, and particularly around sales and service for insurance products.
Wow, that was really good. There was an elevator speech right there. You nailed that.
A lot of practice.
That was great. So, and what is your role at the company?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO, co-founder, and I'm very much the lead AI agent developer. I've got a really great product team helping me, but I'm really defining the future of the product and how it's going to fit in the insurance industry from a broader perspective. And then, of course, I talk to every customer and most of the prospects as well.
And when were you guys founded? How old is Indemn?
April 2021. We're one of the oldest generative AI companies in insurance.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
Well, you're 4 years old,
exactly.
right? That's really cool. So talk to us for a second about how you got here.
Sure.
Because I think you have an interesting background from a couple different points, but just run us through the journey of how Kyle went from whatever, starting out up to here.
I'll try to start with a short one and then we can dig in where you think it's interesting. So I come from a family of insurance agents, third generation, father, uncles, grandfather, everybody's related to insurance. And I got my start in the office, a family independent insurance agency on Long Island at 12 years old. So I was actually filing surplus lines taxes for my father. And in the early 2000s, you might remember each state with its really janky website. So the web whiz kid was the only one that could navigate them. But I was in and out of the office in high school and college. I was an independent agent in my 20s, but I always loved technology. And I just got frustrated with the small town business model. I saw the InsureTech Wave 1.0 and wanted to see what that actually was. And so I joined CoverWallet in 2017. I was there for about 4 years, including the exit to Aon, and really focused on web form-based digital distribution for small businesses and ran into all the challenges that were the generative reason for starting Indemn.
Was CoverWallet a little ahead of its time?
In many ways, it was an exceptional technology development team, and clearly providing better access to products is a part of the future. But it was definitely also an InsureTech 1.0, worry more about technology than insurance itself with its own challenges.
Right. In 1.0, we used to ask people, well, are you an insurance service provider or are you a technology company? And the answer was always, we're a technology company.
Right.
So I'll ask you that question. What are you?
We're both. You need equal parts.
Okay. Explain.
So there's 1,000 use cases for generative AI in the insurance industry. Really, there's more, but right now we could talk about 1,000. I think the most valuable are around providing access both to insurance information and the insurance products themselves. And so we're focused on what it means to generate quotes in natural language through AI agents, to do real-time underwriting, right? To answer those questions people have about the products they're thinking about buying. That's a real challenge. There's all kinds of compliance risk there. There's all kinds of distribution challenges if you're going to help an insurance company with their insurance program, talk to brokers, embedded on platforms, go direct and do anything else, work with Affinity. And so if you don't have insurance experience, you're not going to build that platform to scale the way the insurance companies need it to.
Yeah, because you've heard the questions. You know the paradigm that people are coming from, if you will.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hand waving about AI, and there's a lot of people saying, hey, I can do X, Y, Z, but you really do have to create the future. You have to have a perspective on what it's going to be and try it. And half the time or more, it doesn't work. So then you try the next thing. And you just have better guesses and more attempts if you have more information on the industry.
So why do you think it is that, we're interviewing more and more companies that are .ai? Yeah.
It'd be interesting to talk to anybody in the early electricity generation business in the 1900s, right? And that spread across the world and helped all kinds of industries, all kinds of personal and professional activities, right? The same thing happened with the internet. And I think the internet is the easiest metaphor, the easiest way to kind of think about generative AI. What we have are pockets of intelligence you can train for your business or your personal activities and go back to it and improve it. And, that's a real different type of technology interaction for humans.
And so what you found at Indemn is that the abilities of AI, of generative AI, are perfectly suited for certain attributes in the insurance process.
Since I was a kid, I've been trying to make it easier for my customers to understand and buy their insurance. And that was the reason I joined CoverWallet. They had an excellent mission, easiest way to understand and manage and buy insurance. And one way to think about this is there are 50 times more stock purchases every day today because the internet and some apps exist. And the apps that allow you to look at the charts, the price to earnings, or whatever historics make you feel comfortable to press buy now. And so we 50x'd the number of transactions per day. That's not going to happen for insurance because it's not the same, but I think we could 3x the total premium written globally if it's just easier to access and trust the products themselves. If you don't have to wait to get answers to your questions, if you want to look at a different option for a quote and you just ask and you get, that's a very different interactive way to access insurance. And I think it's going to make all the difference.
So you're saying that you think that buying or participating in insurance is kind of intimidating.
And confusing and frustrating.
Because it's complicated?
So it is a complicated product, which is why just an app in the internet wasn't enough to really make a difference, right? It has made a difference, but not the same kind of difference. And because if you want to access the information or the product itself for insurance right now, either you're interacting with a legacy system with limited technological capabilities, or you have to talk to a human. And that's it. There's really no, here's the perfect way to get everything I need in terms of insurance information.
So it's interesting. We've had on a company that's using AI in the claims process.
Sure.
We've had on another company that's created a FNOL product where it's talking to you.
Yep.
And with terrific acceptance. Tell us a little more specifically about where your product fits in the insurance value chain.
Yep. So we have many more AI agents on the front end of sales and service conversations. So we are, generating quotes by asking questions, getting the data necessary to hit an API and return quote indications, right? We're going step by step in an application, asking those underwriting questions and doing that validation for the underwriting. We're generating certificates. We do have FNOL and we have a platform, and the ultimate goal for me and my company is to let my customers build and manage their own AI agents through our technology platform. And so we're about halfway there. Our customers can do it, but we're still early in terms of capabilities, knowledge, and we're changing the platform every day. One way to think about this is right now we can replace 30 to 40% of the repetitive questions that a underwriter or CSR is fielding every day, right? So we're tracking what somebody asks and what a human says, and now we give that to the AI agent, and now you don't have to answer that same question 20 times. And so that's where we start. And then you see, well, there's brokers asking for the status of a current customer. Well, now we need to build an API, hit a policy administration system, tell that broker, yeah, the policy is enforced, but you owe $300. Here's a link, click it and pay, right? And so we're doing that every day as well.
So as time goes on, do you see the applications spreading?
Yes, absolutely. In the same way that, first you needed a website, then you needed to subscribe to 5 software services for your business, and email was key. And now every business has hundreds or thousands of tools, right? Either the tool you have is going to be more effective because they implement a generative AI, or there's a new tool using generative AI as the source, the way that the platform exists. And one way to think about it is we've got new industries that only exist because of the internet, like social media, right? Google isn't a business without the internet. Neither is Facebook and many others, Amazon.
That's an excellent point. So give us some real world examples of how your product works.
Well, we're in an interesting position right now. I actually, just before I got on with you, I sent a counter proposal, a letter of intent reply to sell a subsidiary of our company. So when we started, we wanted to go direct to the customer with AI agents in a feedback loop that enabled us to really know if it worked. And so we started with a wedding and event insurance program from Markel, actually. So April 2021, we sign up with Markel. We start to build our AI. And
so it's like an MGA?
Exactly right. Yep. Delegated authority with Markel, go out, build the AI agent experience, and sell the insurance. And so, we thought it'd take 3 months. We'd replicate it across other products important to millennials, and we'd be an MGA for millennials. It took 1.5 years, and there was a lot of learning. And most of the time at that stage, people said, I don't care. I don't like chatbots. This is not the future. And right around when ChatGPT launched, late 22, we figured it out. We put a human in the loop. We had a better reinforcement learning AI training model. And I wanted to license this. And so ChatGPT launches, and now everybody in the world understands there's value here. And so I can license it. I've got customers interested. And at that point, we decided, hey, should we, shut down this MGA lab or let it keep growing? And we had actually recruited the underwriter from Markel that we initially worked with to build V1. And so he was working with us. He was growing affinity partnerships. And we said, okay, let's just keep it running and see where it goes. And it's been growing like wildfire on its own, mostly through referrals. 95% of the customer experience is AI agent driven, right? So the AI agents are doing the whole thing. The conversion is exceptional. And he came to us, his name's Mitchell Bussey, and he's just an exceptional guy. So he built it up. It's at $1 million run rate premium in March. And he says, I want to get it to 6 million. I just need a little investment and some extra team members. And our platform as a software service is growing so quickly. We said, Mitchell, this is too much opportunity cost here. What we're going to do is look for a strategic partner that will invest in it and is also potentially a customer. And so it just went through a 3-month process of exploring all the different potential partnerships. And we've got half a dozen letters of intent from really exciting businesses, and we've chosen one. And so it's interesting.
Congratulations. There's a story we've never heard. Would you call that a pivot?
So we pivoted around ChatGPT to the platform, which I always wanted to do. And once the market was there, it was clear that we should do that.
So ChatGPT gave you a backbone, basically.
Yeah, I mean, even now, so insurance companies, they are ready and willing and actively buying generative AI, but it has taken a while. 2025 is the first year where something has really changed and everybody's looking to use this in some form or another. But as you know, it's a conservative industry. And so you got to pull them into technology kicking and screaming. And good luck doing that before the world knows the value in the technology you're developing.
Yeah. Forget it.
Yeah.
I sold into the insurance agents, into the insurance world, carriers primarily for years, and they don't like to be first in line.
Exactly right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, we found a lot of success with InsureTech MGAs just for that reason.
Right. Is that your most common customer today? Or are you
We've got a good mix. We have a special sauce in terms of how we start working with a customer. And there's a feedback loop where if you can give feedback to an AI and it now works the way you want it to, you get excited. And so we just teach our customers, hey, give it feedback, tell it what you want it to do. And so that really brings them into more trust. And that's the kind of self-serve platform we're trying to get more toward. So that's worked really well. But, frankly, I think that providing access to the insurance programs themselves is the real game changer for the industry. But what's growing faster for us is AI agents that are supporting brokers and essentially answering questions all day and doing very basic API communications.
And is the bottom line, if you will, to that, the dollar savings, the financial efficiency of that?
That's where you start. So, you can take a services team of 660 or 600, and they're just answering a lot of the same questions over and over again.
Sure.
And you often have, 10% or less of your team has all the great answers, and the other 90% are either pretty good or brand new and don't know. And so we built a system where we're training the models on those most expert people, the 30-year vets. And so now you build that in, and either the AI agent's using it or there's a live chat and the CSR is getting a suggestion from that expert. And so that's the ground level, the foundation of value. And you can build a lot on top of that.
And I'm interested in the reception that you're getting, because like you said, or like we said, that, carriers are typically slower. I could understand why InsureTech MGAs would eat this up, because it's like a cousin idea to where they already are, or maybe where they want to be. It's already on their roadmap. So what, without, giving away secret sauce or anything, how have you come to working with traditional carriers or incumbents?
Yep.
And your background, are you involved in that process? Because I would think with your background, you can speak to them
very much
in their language.
Yes, I'm very involved in that. And I And nowadays too, I'm spending a lot more time with our current customers because we've recruited an exceptional also insurance executive who's our chief growth officer, and we've got a sales team as well. So yes, I'm in that process. And one piece is look for a low risk use case and prove it right up front. So that's okay. Let's build a prototype. Give us your feedback. We're going to improve it, show you how to do it. The other is just predefining how to do it and why. And so we have one fast growing product, broker portal assistant. So we embed it inside of broker portals. And you've got your agents going in there looking to quote new business or service current business. And we sit in the corner and answer questions all day, connect them to the CSR team, and build APIs for the most frequently asked dynamic data requests. And that's a really simple, easy to understand, quickly get a win use case. I call it the gateway drug for generative AI for insurance companies.
So speaking of gateways, you're at the gateway now. I mean, you're even actually a little bit past it because you've already founded one way of going about this.
Yep.
Pivoted, if you will, from that. People in your seat who are working in the AI world, and not only, I'm sure, with your own company, but seeing what's going on in other industries too, which has got to be a source of information and education for you.
100%.
Somebody has to come up with a clever idea in, I don't know, oil refinery operations. Who knows?
Yes.
And I mean, you must see how this wave of technology, where it can go, or
Absolutely.
is it just too mind-boggling?
Well, there's two tracks here. There's the track where you really can see where it can go and you can apply it. And then there's the fact that none of us really knows exactly how much change is going to happen. And I think it's going to be more than we all expect when you look 5 and 10 years down the road.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, from my perspective, our team does need to be living in the future. We need to be tracking exactly what's happening with the foundation model building, with anybody who's doing really great customer service, with anybody who's doing really great workflow automation with AI, right? So to your point, we're taking the best from other industries and giving it to the insurance industry. And so that's a core tenet of how we're building our business. And, I'm thinking a lot about, so right now, we're helping the businesses perpetuate the business knowledge, provide access to the insurance programs and to their answers to questions and operations, right? But the future probably includes you and I and everybody else having our own personal professional assistants, having every email with a suggested response, right? You can call my special assistant off hours. I do think that's where we're going, but we're not even building for that just yet, right? I'm just thinking about it. Right now, it's more shared inbox and more company communications.
Sure. I mean, it's the somewhat logical progression of the personal computer.
Yes.
Right? I mean, the personal computer was one spot where you could organize a lot of things. And if you could put your brain inside of it, then it could even be more functional. And I mean, isn't that kind of, where it's going?
So I actually was expecting, the massive technology companies, Amazon, Apple, Google, all to deliver us better personal assistants sooner. So we have them now and they're pretty good. But I think that the future is going to include just talking to your phone. It has access to every app and a lot more. I really like have you heard of the operator AIs that can surf websites and shop for you? And
Oh, really? They track all of your patterns.
well, no, they can surf the web as if they're humans, essentially. They not as well, but we're at the beginning stages and we're seeing great success logging into portals and, putting data in and pulling quotes out or getting the status of something. So you can actually have an AI log in and go do that. And if you train it, you can trust it.
Does a company like yours with a product like yours move on from the insurance industry, or is that where your ambitions remain?
I'm kind of a lifer. I mean, I think about it every once in a while. And basically, if we do it really well, logically, it should apply across other industries. And we have a couple of financial services customers where the use case is very similar. So we're testing the waters a little bit. But really for me, and the ultimate vision is insurance is underpenetrated, it's untrusted, and this technology can help us to really change the game. I think people will buy more insurance. There'll be more insurance products, and all of them are going to be accessible in natural language, and that's my North Star.
What does Chat GPT mean to you guys?
Well, so I go back and forth right now between ChatGPT and Gemini. It's an essential tool for my day-to-day. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to know what it means for you.
Well, I'm an old guy.
Are you using it?
I subscribe to ChatGPT and use it, I would say, every day.
Right.
And I find new things to use it for, all the time. And it's remarkable.
It is.
Absolutely.
We haven't found all the use cases where it'll be interesting and great for us.
I mean, it's like one day I'll say, oh, I should ask it this. Right. And of course, it never says, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a big history buff. And one of the, there's a lot of things it can't do that humans can do, which is great. But one of the things it can do that humans can't do is pull information from any time in the past. Right. And so you can literally get a review. What was Catherine the Great's favorite book from Voltaire? Right. And that's something you can get just with a prompt. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. I'm finding more and more, and not that using names here matters, but what I used to, go to Google for.
Yep.
I'll now go to Chat GPT for, because the other thing is that it's more concise, of course, right?
Well, I find that I actually am liking Gemini much better for writing and communications.
Really?
And every call I have with my team or our customers is recorded and transcribed. And typically I'll take the transcription and I'll paste it into ChatGPT or Gemini. More so now Gemini because, with this sale of the business, right? I've had dozens of meetings. And so I've got conversations with dozens of transcripts, right? It's a 1,000-page book or more altogether. And Gemini is excellent at that level of context. ChatGPT is good, but do you use O3 or GPT-4?
I use 4.
So I use O3. It's a reasoning model. It takes longer.
Right.
And it kind of has a mind of its own. I haven't gotten it to write the way I'd like it to write, but it always gives me interesting insights.
My son is a co-founder of an e-commerce service provider company. And so he has access to O3. Mm-hmm. And he's having a health issue. And he's leveraging O3 to help him, deal with the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And it's extraordinary, including, like you said, you know what, I need 15 minutes to think about this. And then we'll come back with exceptional, insightful, takes. It's a remarkable tool. So, when you think out, I'm sitting here thinking, just the first thing that popped into my mind was, remember how there were insurance comparison sites where you could compare quotes? That was like, wow. And that was 5, 6, 7 years ago. And look where we are today. So when you extrapolate out 6, 7 years from now, anything we're talking about today will be funny.
That's right. Every 6 months, this technology seems to really change what's possible.
Let's get back to the product for a minute, because I don't want to, spend too little time on it. Sure. When you go into a carrier, do you go in through underwriting? Is that typically the door that you look for?
Typically, it's the technology team or the information team or a business unit leader that sees it and wants it for their program.
So a business unit leader that maybe hears about it or sees it or what have you?
Yeah, anybody looking to invest in a digital distribution experience can start surfing around, and you shouldn't invest in a web form right now, right? If you want to provide access to your product, you should invest in AI agents. And so
And how are larger carriers approaching it? How are they looking at it and thinking about it?
We've got some that are first building internal AI agents, right? And so, we want to see how this works. We want to upload our documentation and let our current team interact with it. And that's useful, but limited, and they can do a lot of that on their own. Then it's, we have a huge CSR team. It's a big cost and the quality is a challenge. How can we help that? And that's where usually they want to start by communicating with brokers before end customers. but it's a ramp up process where that's the end.
And like you said, I mean, it's a matter of expertise. I mean, you have those small group who's really good at it, and then a large group, I'm talking about humans here, who aren't for whatever reason. And that's impactful in a negative.
I mean, a business built on AI agents that answers the question exactly how you want, has access to all the tools that enable the workflows to run the new business and the current customer operations, that scales very well. And it means you could build more products and put them in the market quicker.
Where do you typically find yourself once you get a pilot or get inside of a carrier? Where do they try you first? Is it internally?
So if it's a incumbent, it's either working with brokers or giving them internal tools. Maybe it's a 100-year-old insurance company or more, that's typically where they start.
And so how are the brokers reacting? So
it's mostly they're positive, and over time they use it more. There is a subset that will immediately ask for a human, 10% or so.
Sure.
But
right.
I need a human. I don't want to talk to AI. But frankly, a majority of them like to use it. And what we found is you can engage new brokers and have them writing more with you quicker, because what you end up with is, okay, you sign up a new broker and you want them to sell your products, but they only know at a very basic level what products you have. They don't know your process. They don't know the total appetite or the gotchas. And so they've got a new business opportunity that comes in and they need questions answered. And are they going to go look for a PDF or call you or email you? If they have to, hopefully. But now they can just pop the agent open and ask the question right away. It's much easier, more engaging.
I think that's so exciting.
Yeah.
We had Charlie Wendland on, who's the chief claims officer at Branch. And he's using AI in his FNOL process.
Yep.
And the acceptance of people to talk with the AI, to stay in the AI, because they give them the option, you can go to a human if you want to, is exceptionally high.
It is.
I want to say he said 70%. It was hot, but something like that. Does that sound right to you?
Well, yeah. So the brokers are a little tougher than the consumers. The consumers, you would expect the broker to be all about business, and they are, but they also have their preset processes and they're going to stick to those. With a consumer, it's like they just need something, and so they directly ask for it, and then you can help them, right? And that's the beauty of AI. Instead of calling an IVR and press 1, 2, or 3, depending on what you want, you just say what you want. And I mean, to that point, our Event Guard business, it is selling insurance every day, and only 1 in 20 of the customers is asking to speak to a human. The rest
what is event insurance? If there's a flood or, God forbid, or something like that, if there's a cancellation?
Particularly what's scaling is wedding insurance. And so it's for the event itself. Let's say you rent a barn and you invite 200 of your favorite friends and family, and somebody swings from the chandelier and brings it down. There's $1 million in liability insurance, if you burn it down. And then you can buy deposit cancellation insurance for all the vendors and the venue itself. And when we started, it was the typical insurance, sell what's required, is a $175 liability policy. Now 40% of our customers are buying packages because we've fine-tuned this AI agent experience to let them know what's possible, and many more of them now are buying packages.
Do agents feel threatened on the sell side by AI?
Yes, I'm sure many do. People have been predicting the downfall of agents now for decades.
For as long as we've been in the business, right?
Yeah. And, I'm an agent till I die. I mean, I feel strongly about the reason I loved insurance as a kid is I always wanted to be a consultant, particularly for small businesses. And with insurance, you're a risk consultant in that sense. And so I really enjoyed that part of it. And I think there are an unlimited number of ways an agent or broker can deliver value to our industry as an agent or broker. But of course, it's going to change, right? And so you've got to figure out what that value proposition is. You probably should be using AI and whatever other technology helps you serve your customers. So I'll say that the industry is going to change. I don't know exactly how. And I think that the technology itself, it's going to raise our economic prospects all over the place. And so I don't worry as much about everybody losing their job and having nothing. just as the internet has created much more wealth for us and more ways to make a business and make a living, generative AI will do the same.
Will AI, this is a big, silly, stupid question, but
Nice.
will AI change insurance?
Yes. Yes, it will. So insurance access is the piece where I'm saying it's absolutely going to change. It's the most important part. But I think that because there's 1,000 applications of generative AI in insurance, each part of the value chain will be a little bit easier. And, the US and the UK are the most mature insurance markets with the most specific products. And this wedding and event product is a perfect example. It's a very niche thing, but it's growing every year. And maybe 15% of couples are buying this. And I'd say 5 years from now, 30% will. And they'll buy 5 other products that don't currently exist that are easier and cheaper to put out to the market because of the generative AI tools that we have.
Sure. So that's on an accessibility level, you're saying.
And number of product options, number of ways to transfer risk.
So it will grow insurance.
I think substantially, yes.
Because you can put out a niche product cost effectively and quickly.
Yes. And you can learn.
And specifically.
Yep. So, there's a trend for MGAs there's more MGAs now and it's growing faster. I think those types of things are going to speed up. For specialized products, more market opportunities, more people looking to transfer risk because they can ask the questions they have about transferring that risk and understand it better.
So, you know how we heard about you?
Astrid.
Astrid.
Yes.
How are you connected to Astrid? First of all, it's a stupid question, but I'll ask it anyways. How are you connected to Astrid?
So I met Astrid at the InsureTech New York event in March of this year. And we just had an excellent conversation. And that was early March, middle of March, we decided to sell this event guard business. And so she's been really an essential partner in helping us do that and finding the right insurance company to partner with.
One of the most remarkable people in our industry.
100%.
And there's only one. She is a unique person and she's been super helpful. And I'm trying to figure out how to make sure she stays involved with Indemn for the long term now. Well, and as you know, she's brilliant.
Yes. She's the future.
And I'm not talking about smart. Brilliant. And so when she suggested that we have you guys on, that's all it takes. When we get a referral from Astrid, it's automatic. So
Makes
I want
sense.
you to know that you're on our good side.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you to Astrid.
Yeah. Thank you, Astrid. Yeah. So I'll ask you the typical ending question here. What do you see in 5 years?
A majority of insurance products accessible via natural language. Any time of day, anywhere you are, through all the distribution channels we have now and many more.
So does that push more people to buying insurance online?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you'll be able to talk about it naturally with the agent.
Yeah, there'll be more pure purchases of insurance, but there's also, every broker worth their salt is doing something specific for a specific part of the market. And their expertise now, they're going to share with their customers in a more fluid way via natural language AI agents. And if they don't, somebody who does will replace them.
Yeah. So the competitive pressure increases?
Absolutely. But also the opportunity increases.
As you said, it gets larger.
Yeah. The more creative you are in this new paradigm, I think the more value you can get for your business or yourself.
Which speaks to the explosion of MGAs.
Yes.
That you probably don't see slowing down at all.
No, I think it's going to speed up. It might double or triple in growth rate.
And when I think about, the climate change and the disasters that are natural disasters that are occurring, and the pressure that it's putting on incumbents and others to how do you insure in a different climate paradigm, that gives MGAs all kinds of opportunity.
It does. There are some fundamental challenges. If you can't get the litigation costs down in Florida, maybe you can insure homes profitably, right? So there are some pieces there that are interesting, and I think AI will have some support there, but I think just the total opportunity space of new products is where the growth will come.
Right. Well, listen, what a pleasure to have you. Again, I apologize that Lee wasn't with us today. So all the good questions weren't asked.
You mentioned he got a big promotion, so congrats to him.
Lee, yeah. Keep your eyes on Lee. He's somebody that you want to know. He's a climber, and he's now president at Alacrity, which is really exciting. And everybody who knows him is thrilled for him, but we'll have to make sure that you meet him. Will you be at ITC in
Yes.
Las Vegas?
Yep.
Well, let's have a cup of coffee then, for sure. And we'd love to keep track of you. We like to have people on more than once, particularly if you're in a dynamic spot like you guys are, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to come back.
It wouldn't surprise me if nothing we talked about today, or if something we haven't talked about today, is what we're talking about a year from now. So that's pretty cool. That makes for a good guest.
I look forward to that.
Great. And we love having a fellow insurance professional on. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure was mine. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Okay, bye now.
So long.
So even though you weren't here, that was a great podcast.
Whenever it was over, and people will need to know that we recorded it, right? And we're recording this later. You called me afterwards and said, Lee, that was a great podcast. So I'm excited to hear it.
And I didn't just do that just to make you feel bad.
No, I think that might have been some of it. But no, you truly were excited. You were like, that was a great podcast.
What got me excited is that Kyle, because now we've had like several guests on in a row that have really been talking about AI in insurance and AI in claims, and the impact, what's really happening on the ground, if you will.
Yeah.
And each episode that I get to see, because I'm not involved in day-to-day operations anymore, I don't get to see it. Right. And so when we have these conversations like today with Kyle, or on our recording with Kyle, you start to get to see the vision of what this really means.
Yeah.
Which you're seeing every day.
I see it every day. It's almost like this AI thing is kind of here to stay. It might be a bubble, but I don't think so.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think so.
And
it's
like
the
this,
internet.
Yeah. Anyways, listen, we're glad that you decided to join us, Mr. Big Shot. And we're glad that all you listeners decided to join us and come back next time. Thanks to Al. Thanks to Israel. And thank you, Lee, for giving us a few minutes of your time.
1 minute, 44 seconds. You're very welcome.
And until next time.
Goodbye, everybody.